Hey guys, DRush211 here to give you part 1 of the tutorial series for the speedrun of Final Fantasy IV, Paladin Run. This is a run where we take Cecil from a Dark Knight all the way up to Paladin, and that's it. You'll see this run on RPG Limit Break quite often, and for a good runner you'll see under an hour time, and for you learning it's probably going to take about an hour and a half to 2 hours depending on your experience level with the game and just speedrunning in general. So for this particular split, I'm going to walk you all the way up through Mist Cave and up to Mist Dragon. We're going to stop there because Mist Dragon is a very specialized fight. You need to do a couple things into it to make sure you optimize it. So we're going to stop there and just do the cave part of the split. So a lot of the first part of the game is just kind of mashing through text. It's going to give the baseline of the story. You're going to go and steal this crystal. You're going to feel bad about what you did. You're going to go talk to the king, and he's going to send you on this special errand to the Mist Village. So nothing special here. You're going to mash a little bit. Try not to wear yourself out. You could just spend the first 7 minutes mashing and then kind of wear your arm down. But you just kind of want to figure out exactly where the mash spots are and then work on that. So for about the first 4 minutes of the game, there's nothing really you can do besides make sure your mashing is on point. You're going to get into a couple of fights on the plane, and there's nothing you can do about it. These fights are just RNG, they're already dictated. Cecil's going to do whatever he's going to do, and you'll win them, there's no worry about it, but you just have to sit back and watch them. Kind of what you're hoping for is just that you go first, you get your attack off, and you instantly kill people. So that first fight, we got it. The next fight was Zoo. He's more likely to go in front of us. We'll see what happens. Okay, so that's unfortunate we didn't get the attack off first, but we finish him off, and then we're back to mashing some text. The real crux of the first part is just being on point with your mashing, working through, making sure you mash only when you need to. Don't wear out your forearm or your thumb or whatever your mash technique is. Just make sure you don't wear yourself out in the first 7 minutes. So I'll walk you through a little bit of what we're going to be doing up in this castle. There's nothing real intricate or special here either. The only thing that you have to do is you have to pick up a tent. That's going to be used on the mist skip later on, and I'll get to that whenever we get to that point of the run. So a little more mashing. Bacon's going to take you to the king. He's going to tell the king that you're having doubts about him, and then this is when you're going to get sent on your mission. But so after that, we're going to take control of Cecil. We're going to pick up a tent from the chest that we just passed right there. Then we're going to go to bed. We're actually going to run and talk to Rosa, and we're going to talk to Sid as well. But that is it. That is basically it for this part of the split, and then we're going to go through and actually walk the world map into the Mist Cave. One thing to note about this game is that if you're holding any kind of directional button and trying to mash, the text actually won't go. So if you hold 2 inputs at the same time, they basically lock each other out and you can't do anything. So make sure whenever you have text to mash or just in general trying to hit through a text box that you're only pushing 1 button. Luckily this game does allow for multiple buttons to actually mash through. Some games will only allow one particular button to mash, but in this one you can hit R1, L1, X, kind of whatever your controller is, you can hit it. Alright, we got the package. Kane's going to talk to us for a little bit, and then we're going to take control. Alright, and from here we're just going to head down. We're going to go pick up this tent, and then we're going to go to our quarters. So one thing to note is that this game does have a step count. So if you're on step count, you want to definitely be on point here and make sure you don't miss a step. I'm not actually going to show you the step count part of the route. I don't feel like that's important for anybody learning the run. But eventually you probably do want to learn step count, and there are plenty of other tutorial videos for that. And eventually I'll probably get a tutorial out for that, but not right now. Don't worry about that. Just know in the back of your mind, step count does matter. Because there's definitely times where you can run through the game absolutely perfectly, but if you don't have a step count, people can beat you, just because it matters how many battles you're going to get into. Once again, nothing special about this part. Sid's going to talk to you, Rosa's talk to you. You just mash through the text and continue on. Oh, misstep there. Once again, if you're on step count, that's where it matters, but for us, it's not a big deal. So I will kind of go over that table that we just crossed. If you were on step count, what you would do actually is you would get to that stool, take 1 step down and 1 step up, and then go to bed. That's because the best seed actually has it As soon as you get out of the castle, the first step is going to get into a battle, and then you won't see any battles again for the Mist Cave. So that stool actually doesn't count as a step. So if you step down and up, it only counts as one step you took, which ends up perfect, right? You end up coming out of the castle already having taken your step, and you walk through Mist Cave without getting into any battles. So if you did happen to have step count, you would take a step there. But once again, we're not worried about that in this route. I'm just trying to give you information for later on if you want to optimize your route further. Alright, and now we're through the mashing part. We're going to talk to Kane a couple more times, but then we're just going to float through this text screen. It's just scrolling text. There's nothing you can do about it, so this is a good time to make sure you just take a break, get ready for the next part of the split, and just keep going forward. And so to kind of give you an idea of what we're going to go up through here, we're going through Mist Cave up to Mist Dragon. We're not going to fight Mist Dragon in this split. It's actually going to be in a different one, just because of how intricate the fight is and what you need to do to optimize the route. But I will show you, we're going to first go pick up a Chocobo, and while we're in Chocobo Forest, we're actually going to pick up a carrot. Once we get to the Mylon Z fights, I'll show you what we're going to do with that carrot, but I'll show you first a non-carrot strat, and then the carrot strat. So for Mylon Z, there's actually carrot and trash can strats. I am going to get to those in the tutorials, but for this part I would just focus on just doing the fights generically, and then eventually working your way up to carrot and trash can strats. We're going to pick up the carrot though, because that's important to do carrot strat later. Once we get the Chocobo, it's just walking it out into the Mist Cave, letting go of him, and then walking through Mist Cave all the way up to Mist Dragon. Nothing special there. You're going to run from every single encounter you get through on the way to Mist Dragon, and pretty much every encounter you have throughout the game. There's no reason to fight any random encounters, only the ones that are given. So this is about a solid minute of just text scrolling that you don't have to mash, you don't have to do anything. You should just be prepping your run at this point. Anything that you're not sure of should be going over in your head and getting ready, because it's just now done. So, I actually forgot to mention, the first thing we're going to do is actually going to set the battle speed and the message speed to the fastest possible. That's actually important, one, because you want the fastest anyway, but two, it actually matters about the timing of the Mist Dragon fight, so it's very necessary that you actually get that done. So we picked up carrot, we got a Chocobo, and now we're ready. But yeah, if you mess up and don't get that battle speed set, then you're actually not going to be able to do the Mist Dragon fight correctly. So make sure you get that. Okay, just going to run from this battle and any battle thereafter. And we're going to walk through on an optimal route, or as optimal as possible, to Mist Dragon. Once again, we're not on step count, so if we miss a couple of steps, it's not a big deal. And one common thing that people will do there is once you get to the top of the steps, you'll still be holding up. You'll be hitting like the A button or anything to go through the text, but the text doesn't go. So make sure you release the up button at that point and just mash through normally with a button press, and then go back to holding the up button. Alright, one more time to talk to him, and we're going to stop just short of the Mist Dragon fight. So, for the next split, we're going to do the Mist Dragon fight. I want to show that off as its own individual thing because of how intricate it is, how much it's necessary for the rest of the stuff, because we have an item duplication, the timing of the battle is important, things like that. But thank you for watching. Hopefully you come back for the next split, and where we'll be doing Mist Dragon, and I will talk to you later.